The evidence of NASA's hidden agenda can be found in the close ties between its founding scientists and secret societies.
These secret societies had at their core essentially a belief that they were directly descended from these great gods of ancient Egypt, Isis, Osiris, and Horus. And they considered these gods to be truly the source of their bloodline, but also that these gods themselves came from space. At the very top, you had the Freemasons. You had James Webb, who was the director of NASA. You had a man named Kenneth Kleinknecht, who was the head of the Mercury program, the Apollo program, the Gemini program. He was the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. Below them, you had the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, or followers of Aleister Crowley. People like Jack Parsons out at JPL were all put together, and so they all ended up under the very same roof with the very same agenda and the very same belief system.
We see this practice of passing knowledge down through a secret society go back all the way to the days of the Illuminati, who believed that a select few of the elite were smart enough, were capable of handling this secret knowledge, but not the population at large. So the question remains, has this knowledge been passed down through secret societies for generations? And this may predate the secret societies that we know about in modern times all the way back to the days of the pharaohs.
Like the ancient Egyptians, could NASA's founding fathers have shared the belief that humans descended from extraterrestrial beings? What did the members of these secret societies know about space travel? And how did the ancient past influence their work? Researchers believe the connection to ancient Egyptian beliefs can also be found in the emblem of NASA's Apollo space program. They claim that the large A in the star field stands not for the Greek god Apollo, but for Asar, the Egyptian god more commonly known as Osiris. This is indicated by the cluster of 3 stars in the center of the A, which represent the stars of Orion's belt.
You have to wonder if stars like Orion and Sirius are very important to NASA, because this is where the ancient traditions, including Egyptian, have said that the space gods came from. This is our origins.
According to NASA records, the area of the moon called the Sea of Tranquility was chosen for the first lunar landing based on its flat surface. But some researchers suggest this site was chosen because on that date, its coordinates lined up directly under Orion's belt.
The way they picked the landing sites was that they first chose the specific date, the specific latitude and longitude, the specific time that they would land, and then you have to work your way back from that to create what's called the launch window. The person who picked all of the Apollo landing dates and landing times, including the mission for Apollo 11, was a man named Farouk El-Baz. His father just happened to be an expert on the ancient Egyptian stellar religion.
According to ancient Egyptian beliefs, ceremonies performed directly under Orion's belt produce a sacred alignment, one through which humans could communicate with Osiris.
To the ancient Egyptians, that constellation actually was a literal living embodiment of the great god Osiris. Sirius was the same representation of his wife, sister, and consort Isis. Together, those two essentially ruled the skies, and the life of the Egyptian people themselves was dictated by the rotation, the movement, and the placement of those two celestial objects in the heavens. Apollo 11 had landed at a specific date and a specific time where the 3 belt stars of Orion were on the horizon at that time, 33 minutes after landing. Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon, a 33-degree Scottish Rite Freemason, was in fact performing a ceremony on board the lunar module with Neil Armstrong. What they were doing was pouring wine into chalices, breaking bread, and doing what essentially is called a communion ceremony. Now, the interesting thing about the communion ceremony is that although it's Catholic, it actually has its origins in a much deeper, farther back ritual, which was an offering to the god Osiris himself. So they are performing essentially an offering to Osiris himself.